Hey guys, welcome to College Made Simple, and in today's video, I'm going to teach you the difference between intensive and extensive properties. First, we'll define what intensive and extensive properties are and provide examples for each type of property. Next, we'll learn how we can actually use these properties to help us find the density, mass, and volume of a given substance. Then we'll conclude with some practice questions and their answers. So what are intensive properties? Intensive properties are properties that remain the same regardless of how much of a substance you have. For example, temperature, melting point, boiling point, and density are all intensive properties because they all remain the same regardless of how much substance you have. Let's take a closer look at density. The density of water, which some professors may require you to memorize, is approximately 1 gram per cubic centimeter, or 1 gram per milliliter. So whether you have 1 liter or 1 milliliter of water, its density will always be 1 gram per milliliter. Extensive properties, on the other hand, are properties that do depend on the amount of substance you have, so they increase or decrease as you add or remove substance. For example, mass, volume, and length are all extensive properties. Let's take a closer look at mass. The mass of a substance increases as you add more of it. For instance, if you have 10 grams of iron and you add another 5 grams, your total mass becomes 15. Now we can actually use these properties to help us find the density, mass, or volume of a given substance. In order to solve for one of them, for example density, we simply need to be given the other two, mass and volume. The equation to solve for density looks like this. D equals m over v, which means density equals mass divided by volume. If you want to solve for mass or volume, you simply need to rearrange this equation. So to solve for mass, we need to multiply both sides by volume, which gives us mass equals density times volume. And to solve for volume, we now need to divide both sides by density, which gives us volume equals mass divided by density. However, there's one very important thing that you need to look out for, and that is making sure you use the correct units. Throughout chemistry, you're going to be given many equations, and they may use different units, so be sure to remember which units you need for which equation. For this equation, the unit for mass is grams, and the unit for volume is liters. And because density is mass, which is grams, divided by volume, which is liters, the unit for density is grams per liter. If you don't have the correct units, you will need to use dimensional analysis to get them. If you don't know what dimensional analysis is, or how to use it, check out the video I made on it, link in the description. So just a quick recap. When solving for any of the three, there's two things to look out for. Number 1, make sure you use the right equation, and number 2, make sure you have the correct units. Now here are some practice questions. Number 1, determine the density of a substance that has a mass of 5 grams and a volume of 750 milliliters. Number 2, determine the mass of a substance that has a density of 3 grams per liter and a volume of 200 milliliters. And number 3, determine the volume of a substance that has a density of 7.4 grams per liter and a mass of 28 kilograms. I recommend you pause the video and try to solve them on your own and then come back and see how you did. Now for the answers. For number 1, because we're solving for density, the equation is density equals mass divided by volume. And for the units, we have mass in grams, which is good. However, the volume is in milliliters, so we need to convert it to liters. We do this using dimensional analysis, which gives us 0.75 liters. Now that we have the right equation and the right units, we simply do the math. 5 divided by 0.75, which equals 6.7. So the density of this substance is 6.7 grams per liter. In number 2, we're solving for mass, so we need to adjust the equation, and to do that, we multiply both sides by volume, so now we have mass equals density times volume. For the units, the density is good, but the volume is in milliliters, so let's change it to liters, which is 0.2. Now we just do the math. 0.2 times 3, which equals 0.6, so the mass is 0.6 grams. And for number 3, since we're solving for volume, we need to multiply both sides of the equation by volume and divide both sides of the equation by density, which gives us volume equals mass divided by density. The units for density are good, but the mass is in kilograms. Converting it to grams gives us 28,000 grams. Now we just do the math. 28,000 divided by 7.4 equals 3,784. So the volume, with the correct number of sig figs, is 3,800 liters. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day, keep learning, and peace out.